Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
This is Richard.
Hi, Richard. This is Shannon Rice. I emailed you guys. I'm sorry to be bothering you through that chat system. I had a best access. This was a Key Combinator. I saw your video online, so I looked you up. I looked you guys up, so that's how I found you.
I'm glad you did. Awesome.
Oh yeah. So anyway, I'm not a locksmith. My uncle was a locksmith. He passed away, and there was some tools and stuff that he passed on to me, and I don't know what to do with it, you know. So I don't know. Any suggestions would be wonderful. I asked you about the keyway, and it doesn't have a stamp on it. That was one thing that I didn't know I didn't know about, because I didn't see others that were out there.
What are we talking about though in terms of tools?
It's the key. It's the Key Combinator. It's a Key Combinator.
Okay, which one do you have?
The 2-key.
The 2-key. Oh, so you sent me an email with the 2 photographs.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. All right. Okay, so was your question phrased, does this take the standard key?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
the A2 key. You know, I didn't know if keyway was specific for the carriage or what.
No, everything matters. A2 is, think of a table, three rows in this table, A2, A3, A4.
Gotcha.
None of that matters in the sense of the fact that you have a key combinator,
right, and
answering the question what keyway it will take. So A2 is a reference to the science on how the biddings are created compared to the manufacturer's A3 and A4 system. It is absolutely a reference to whether or not it's a 2-step or a single-step system. The combinator has to be built for A2, A3, or A4, because every time that you cut a key and you switch from depth 1 to depth 7, you could take a caliper and measure that from 1 to 7. And in A2, It will always be the same dimension. If the difference is 6, whether it be 2 to 8, 0 to 6, it's always going to be a dimension. In an A3 system or an A4 system, that dimension between the 2 cuts will be a different size, a different length. It absolutely matters that you have a key combinator that's A2, because it says to someone, you're cutting in an A2 environment. You have an A2 system. So it is really important. But when it comes to your question is, will this cut a standard key?
Right.
Put A2 aside for a moment. A2, A3, A4. Forget all that.
Gotcha.
Best make different combinators, different derivatives, based on the platform, whether it be standard or premium, and then the keyway itself will dictate the derivative part number of the key combinator. If you have an AD433-2, I know exactly what you have, and I know exactly what it will cut, and I know exactly what it won't cut. So that tells me it's a right side arranged combinator. The handle's on the right, and it cuts the standard keyways, but it doesn't cut all keyways from that manufacturer. So does it cut the standard keyways? Yeah, if standard is the garden variety most common, but it doesn't cut other keyways from the manufacturer. So you've got 2 things in play. You've got the concept that it's an A2, because you can do an AD433-3-4, and then you've got the fact that it's AD433, which tells me it's right side, and it cuts a specific list of keyways that are standard keyways, not premium or Cormax, blah, blah, blah. Now, the cool thing about the BEST system is you could pull up their service manual for that, and it's in my site. If you type in AD433-2, you'll find it. And if you want,
I even printed it out.
Yeah, so if you pursue it academically, you're going to know as much as I know about it real quick. I mean, not
awesome.
Literally, but you're going to know more than the next 1,000 people you stand next to when you read that. And it's just literally that easy. It helps having an understanding of the one-step, the single-step, two-step principle, but it's really not required to just accept the fact that A2 and A3 and A4 are different systems. You don't need to know the difference. You have an A2 combinator, which happens to be, if there's 100 key combinators, 98 of them are going to be A2. The problem is going to be, what are you going to do with this tool? You probably want to sell it. I don't think you can sell it on eBay because I don't think they permit key cutters, key machines on eBay. At one time they didn't.
They don't.
Yeah, that's so weird. I tried to sell a key cutter so why do they sell 3D printers? I mean, I can 3D print a key too.
Exactly.
So you could contact Aloha, ALOA something.
I saw that. Okay. I saw that.
You could contact Dawn over there. Her name is Dawn, and she's the secretary of Aloha. And you could say, hey, Rich at Architectural Builders is trying to help me just sell this.
Right.
Do you guys have a classified, that kind of business?
Right.
So they may have something. Her name's Dawn Chandler. She's an absolute sweetheart.
Okay, that's great. That's a good reference. I appreciate that, man.
You could also take lots of photos of it, and you can send those to me, and I can list it in my website and just list it as I'm selling this on behalf of a customer. It's used. Here's the bottom line. You hang on to it, and I'll take a standard cut. I'll take 30% of it, that kind of thing, and you decide what you want to sell it for. But you can see what they sell for new.
Yeah.
And those things
I
forever.
can.
The one that you've got does not appear to be that old. I mean, I've seen ones that are really decades old, and they still work just fine. And, I mean, obviously, you want to make sure
2011, I think, is the production.
That's brand new. It looks like it's been used very little. And what's cool about that machine is it actually cuts the key the correct way. So when you go into Home Depot and they duplicate a key, that's got a cutter on it that's round. It's got a circular cutter, and when you, in your mind,
I saw one of your videos that showed that.
Yeah, it's not. It'll work, but it's not the right way to do it. So you really, you got a good thing there. So you've got. And well, people. So I've contacted just some local locksmiths, and they're like, well, it only sells from my supplier for $1,000. I'll give you $200 for it. I'm like, that's a lie. No, that's a lie.
Come on, guy. What are you doing?
That guy's giving locksmith. I mean, I can't say you're going to get the kind of money you want for it because the people who own those, you buy it once and you really never need one ever again.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
What you might be able to do is, you might contact big outfits that always have need for one more tool. They got so many people that are cutting keys, they could always use one more. Like the one that I've got, I'll never need more than one.
Right. You just don't cut that many keys.
I don't cut that many. I don't have 5 people cutting keys all day for, and who uses, the schools, and that's another potential client. Schools use BEST and the U.S. Army. The U.S. Army is probably the biggest installation of BEST that there is. United States.
Okay, I saw that in your video. Great videos, man. You go into depth, and I appreciate the heck out of that. No, I really do. I mean, I watch it just to be that, just a side interest, kind of interesting thing. But okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, I saw that with school districts and in the Army. I don't know how I'd go about contacting the Army, but I might go that route with you. I mean, it might be easier to go that route with you and take a cut off of it. I might be okay with that. Your suggestions, as far as suggestions goes for price, I don't. You tell me. I have no idea.
I would say not less than 60% of what it would cost new. Absolutely not.
Right. Okay.
I mean, you're going to want to be sure that it cuts accurately.
Right.
And I can
Right.
tell you
And I could
how to do that.
Right. Okay.
But, you know,
Yes.
now this was your father?
No, it's my uncle.
Your uncle. So if you were aware of his business, you may know how busy he is. But when you look at a tool, it's no different than looking at, you know, a set of snap-on wrenches or whatever analogy you want to use. You can tell if they've been
Gotcha.
up.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, because most people use, and I watched your video on the ProLock A2 system cutter, and I was trying to find a comparison between the two, and there wasn't really much out there that shows a comparison between those two, because those are for those will cut there's one for best, right, from ProLock.
There's probably a dozen
right?
variants of their Blue Punch. I own probably 3 of them. Schlage, Quickset, small format A2, which is what this is. But
right, small format A2, because
if you're my age, the difference between the best Key Combinator, and the ProLock, there's only one Godzilla. There's only one. In every Godzilla movie you watch, or King Kong, pick one. Those guys never lose. So the Key Combinator is the King Kong. Everybody else is the Mothra. Mothra's going to lose every time.
Huh. Okay, gotcha. I love that analogy. That's cool.
And
great.
The ProLock is, I've broken, and I love the people at ProLock, really nice people. I've broken probably 15 springs on my Blue Punch have broken for cut and Schlage. That would never happen with a Key Combinator from Best. Never. And Best rebuilds those. I think ProLock rebuilds theirs as well. It's probably $750 to send it into Best to have them do an overhaul. But I'll tell you, every time that someone's called me needing that, like it fell while in service. It fell off a bench. So it's not through normal use that these things need to get rebuilt.
Gotcha. It'd be catastrophic, kind of like it would be noticeable.
It ain't going to be from cutting keys. It ain't going to be from cutting keys. You got to cut tens of thousands of keys before that thing gets worn.
Yeah. I tested it out. I did test it out. I didn't have a best blank, but I tested out with it was like a Hillman A2 or something that I tested it with, and it appeared to function, normally.
I'm
can't tell that exactly.
If you really, really wanted to test it, you could buy a construction core. They're probably $15. You could buy a blank. You could buy one cut key, and you're probably $30 for all of that kind of thing. And then you could cut the key, and then if the key works in the cylinder, that thing works.
Okay, awesome. Because the tolerances are pretty tight on those keys, on Best key.
If a key is not more than 2,000ths, it ain't gonna work. You'll know it's out. Now think of 2,000ths. Think of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a caliper, try to look at 2,000ths.
That's nuts. That's tight.
That's pretty normal. I mean, you get really crappy locks, the Home Depot stuff, you'll have a bigger tolerance. But 2,000ths is actually quite egregious. If you're out 2,000ths, that key ain't going to work real well at all, if it even works. Especially in your better quality locks, Sargent and Best. I like, Schlage too. Schlage's good. But Best is Falcon's got a good high-end lock as well. 2,000ths.
From a layman, just people that I've talked to in my life, Schlage is probably the only one I really know, from a consumer residential standpoint. So but those are always known as, hey, Schlage locks are good, So
they're good, but the Army doesn't use Schlage.
Gotcha. The Army doesn't.
You know where else Best goes?
When I heard the Army, I'm like, that's cool. That's interesting.
No, you know what's cooler than that is we've got a contractor. and they supply. So there's only one contractor that builds nuclear submarines for the government, and this supplier of the customer of mine supplies them, and it's always best. It's always best that goes in nuclear subs.
Wow.
From Connecticut.
Yeah,
when
wow.
they call, when they call, I say, because that's where the sub base is over, in New England, and she's like, I'm sitting here right now. I can see one going right past my office window.
That's insane. That's insane. And they've had that contract for how long? Do you know?
Who knows? Decades.
Yeah, well, Best has been around forever, so.
Best has been around since before, right, the patent, Frank Best filed his patent in about 1919, and it was granted, I think, in 1921, and today's Best core is not unlike his original patent. It's not unlike it.
Wow.
In fact, it's the principles of it are the same. And he was a high school shop teacher, and he just got sick and tired of carrying around so many keys, so he looked for a way to make one key to go on every lock, and that's where the interchangeable core was born. Took Falcon Lock to court because they were copying his interchangeable core concept. Falcon won the case because it was different enough. And Frank Best, he has been copied and cloned for the last 100 years ad infinitum by every domestic and every other manufacturer in the world.
So yeah, it became the universal thing pretty much.
And what's neat is the Schlage C keyway, the most common Schlage keyway is Schlage hired an engineer from Best. When he come to Schlage to work, he took the Best A keyway, he drew it in reverse, and that's the Schlage C keyway. So if you took a Best A blank, the most common blank, and cut it and stuck the other end, it would go right into a Schlage C keyway, which is the most common Schlage keyway.
Wow.
It's cool. There's an answer to this key machine problem. You just need to become a locksmith.
Yeah, it sounds interesting, man. It's interesting. And the math's cool too. I can appreciate the constant math of it, kind of keeps me keeps the calculations going.
It's quite beautiful, actually. The mind of the people bring the stuff up.
Yeah, it's amazing. No, I have delved a little into the, what a key master password, but, Locksmith now does. It's super interesting. Super interesting. Yeah, your videos are good, man. I appreciate them.
Thank you.
I appreciate the info, Richard. That's great.
I'll
send you a bunch of pictures. I've taken a bunch. I did a video, but I'll do that with the I'll get a core and with the key test. It'll have the code for it, I guess.
Well,
or would I have to measure
it won't.
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
You're going to need to measure that, and the idea
Can you do it with a caliper?
Well, yeah, a caliper is how you would do it, and then you need the depth and spacing chart, the depth and spacing data, and if you reply to my email, if you get to that point where you're going to try to cut it, email or call me, and I'll send you the DSD for it, and then I'll explain to you what you're measuring, and then you'll be able to figure out what the cut is.
Okay.
Your best bet, however, if you're going to actually do this, is get an original Best core with an original Best operating key and an original Best duplicate. Not Kaba Ilko. Don't use any knockoff, because that machine is built for the OEM stuff. Will it work? Yeah, most likely. But if it doesn't, you're not going to be able to divide out of the equation the fact that you're using non-original equipment. So if you really want to know if it works correct, you really should be using original stuff. Or, you might call a locksmith and say, "Hey, man, I got $25 burning a hole in my pocket. If I bring this in, will you cut a key and stick it into a cylinder that you already got and make sure it works?" I don't know. It may be worth it.
Yeah.
Like if you called me down here, I'd say, "Yeah, come by. I'll do that for you. Bring the coffee and donuts. I'll do the rest."
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. yeah, that's a great thought too. Okay, cool. Yeah, I might have to mess with all that, but yeah, okay, cool. Great, man. Great references there, man. I appreciate that. All right, Richard. And yeah, okay. Yeah. It's just, I hate to just, I don't know. I hate to give the thing away because somebody's saying, hey, that's not gonna even say, hey, wow, that's just cool. I don't know. But
no. You'll put that. No. That's not happening. I got that listed right now for $4,850 on the site. I just pulled it up.
Right.
That's a really good price. That's an aggressive price. That means I want to sell you one. If you're looking for one and you want to talk about price, not only do I got a really great price, but I got one sitting on the shelf. Well, let's just do this.
Right.
That's a $5,000. Yeah, I don't remember what I said. I remember selling these 25 years ago. So to me, it's
okay.
This is that's I've got one on the shelf. That's a really expensive tool.
Yeah, no, I saw yours. I saw yours on the show. I saw yours, and yeah, that's comparatively, because I mean, if somebody doesn't want to do the research and they buy stuff from, I guess, Granger, I don't know, they want $7,000 for it. So
yeah, I get Granger's thing. Their whole thing is
I get it.
You should have ordered it 2 weeks ago, and now you need it tomorrow. And guess what? I'm the only guy who's got it. I get it. You know, I'm all about. I love the business model, but that ain't gonna happen. I would imagine I sell more of those than Granger does.
Oh yeah. 25 years they've made that machine.
Oh no,
or longer?
Far longer than that. Far longer.
Okay.
If you find an old one, it'll be red in color.
Okay, the red ones were okay. Yeah, I have seen the red ones out there.
Yeah, those are old. Yours is definitely a modern vintage.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's all those things you said. It's all machine. It's a dedicated, very dedicated. So,
it does one thing, and what it does, no other tool does better. No other tool.
Perfectly.
Including ProLock, because ProLock won't. This is a marathon. ProLock is a sprinter. This thing will run the 26 miles. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, most locksmiths aren't doing that much to maybe to qualify that. So I don't know.
Well, if you can buy a ProLock for $1,000, don't quote me, but if you can buy a ProLock for $1,000 or whatever, $1,500 or $2,000, I don't know. And then you're going to look at one that's $5,000-$6,000. Yeah, you're going to buy the ProLock first because you know what? You don't do that much, and you don't have that much. You can't justify the dedicated tool. Well, the U.S. Army's spending your money and my money, so they're going to, and then plus they've got the need for it. Someone like the Army or a Big Ten university, these guys have countless on-staff, full-time professional locksmiths. Yeah, they're cutting keys all the time, and they're probably beating the daylights out of it because the money didn't come out of their pocket. Like my tool, I've got locksmith tools here for everyone else, and then I have my own. I don't, you get that, right? I don't.
Yeah,
you go
absolutely.
use your tools. Yeah, I got my tools. No one touches but me because because it's expensive. That's why.
Yeah, you have to have those tools. They have to be available for you to use. Yeah, absolutely.
And they're not beat up.
Right. It's not a loaner tool for sure. No, yeah, I get you.
It ain't a loaner.
Yeah, I mean,
it ain't a Home Depot generator. No.
Right. And like you said, I get why like you said in the video, I get why you'd want to bolt it down. It stays here. It's not going anywhere. No, don't even think about it. So.
It's heavy and it will move. It'll move. It'll creep on the workbench.
Yes,
you want
it will. Yeah. I noticed that cut. Just trying to cut. Cutting the Hillman key that I had. I noticed it. If it's not, it will move. Yeah, because it's really It's really cutting a. It's directly cutting a straight cut. Like you said, there's not tolerance there, which is amazing because the lock the clamp for it doesn't seem like it would be it's clamped down completely, but it's solidly clamped down. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
it's got that it kind of loosens. I'm sorry.
No, no, it never. You never have a problem with fixturing the key down in the die set. It's, you know, because it's also seating into the milling grooves of the key blank. It never moves. You slide it in, you stop it at the tip stop, you tighten it down, and you're good all day long. All day long. The only way that it won't work is if you actually don't tighten it.
Right.
And you'll actually know that when you come down, because you'll feel like, whoa, that cut feels weird. What am I doing? I think I put the key in upside down one time on whatever I was doing, and I could tell as soon as I started to apply pressure, I knew I was doing something wrong.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. And when you tighten it drops back down to the middle position, if you know what I'm referring to, when you when you pull the keyway out. So now I guess that means it's seated correctly.
If it's not seated correctly, the key is not seated correctly in the draw set. Something's not going to look right. Something's not going to look right. But you should really dive into the service manual. That's definitely, when you look at the AD433-2 in my site, it's there. It's literally, the link is called Service Manual. Since you're clearly interested, you should definitely read that. Or at least scroll through it.
So I didn't have to keep worrying about my phone going into sleep mode. I printed this service manual and put it in a binder. It's concise. It's a very concise manual.
Yeah, it is. I only wish I did more best business. I'm a firm believer in the quality of their material.
Anyway, I could say more about it. The small things that I've noticed that seem very interesting with best systems. So anyway, okay. I'll take more pics of it and I'll send them to you, Richard.
See what happens. I mean, it's not going to spoil. It's not going to rot. And it's if anything, it's not going to ever devalue. If anything, the price is only going to go up.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I tried that with eBay. That was taken down actually. So they don't allow you to do it.
Probably within 30 minutes.
It was about a day or two,
and
I don't know. Maybe their algorithm just didn't really pick up on it. There was one other one on there that someone had listed, and but that's it. I mean, there's no history. Nobody, like you said. I think it's one of those. I concluded that it was one of those things that people, when a person buys one, or a company buys one, and that's really all they need, or you just keep sending it in for service. So
now you know what I've seen, and it just occurred to me. I have seen people sell stuff on eBay, and it's like a cylinder, or it's something, and then they say, and by the way, when you are the high bidder and win this auction, I'm going to send you for free the best AD433-2 key combinator. I've seen people do that. Now, I don't know if it's successful, but I've seen people do it.
Yeah, I've seen some of those. I've seen some of those before as well. Yeah. People do that. So there's other things, other categories of things on eBay that people do that with that I've seen before. Yeah. They'll send so people with what are those CPAP machines? That's something completely different. They'll sell the mat. They'll put the mask up and say that the machine itself is free. So it's the same kind of thing. So
parts only. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
I got you. Yeah. So there were other people referred to. I forgot the name of the site, but it's one that you have to register. You have to show a license as a locksmith, and to sell on the site, to get on the site. It's a forum site. But like old script. Looks like something from the early 2000s. But it's, you know,
it's a forum.
It's one of the good.
It's a forum.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, I don't, I forget the name. I know it's actually very, you know what you could try? Reddit. I mean,
right.
it has to be a wire transfer, that kind of thing, but you could try Reddit, because locksmithing on Reddit's really a big thing.
Is it? Okay. Okay, yeah, I saw lock quote unquote lock picking, but, you know, on Reddit, but I didn't really delve into like all the different Reddit groups for it. But okay, yeah, I did see some of it. People were asked a few questions about that combinator, and you know, they referred back to that site though to sell it. Anyway, yeah, I couldn't find. You just can't find much about anybody. There's no complaints about it, there's no real reviews on it. But people anyway that has reviewed it has absolutely nothing bad to say about it. Those are through YouTube videos. But yeah, there's no like. I guess maybe this is inside ball here, but there's no one comparing that to, like I was trying to compare it to the ProLock. There's no comparing. Nobody has done that. I don't know, so yeah, that's fine with me. Just after talking to you, I'm getting it. But yeah, there's just, other than your video, that's if somebody's looking for info on the best combinator, that's a very concise video. I appreciate the heck out of it.
Yeah, short of a CNC, short of a Fromen or a multi-lock CNC key cutter I have, the Key Combinator, it's the proverbial Sherman tank, and that's just what it is. It's a Sherman.
I gotcha. I love that analogy. Okay, awesome. Yeah. And you were, and one thing I was pondering in your video. You said you have an idea who makes that combinator, but you didn't want to say. And I mean, if you don't want to tell me, it's fine. But is it someone that does other things other than things like Key Combinator?
Yeah, it's definitely not a secret in the sense of, I believe, and I wouldn't put it out there for best to see it, but I believe who makes those four best is right hand. Because
that's what I was thinking. Okay. Yeah, after doing a little like a.
They're a California manufacturer of really high quality key, not only key cutters but locksmithing tools, and they're the bee's knees, man. They're great people. These people know their business, and I believe Right Hand actually makes that. Now I don't know it for sure, but I believe Right Hand makes it for Best, because Best doesn't make that tool.
Right.
Flake doesn't make Flake doesn't make their tools either. They get it from General Motors doesn't make alternators, but they use millions every year, right?
I get you. Yeah, I got you. That guy concise of a tool, you probably wouldn't want it to be built in house like that. I don't know.
So they're not experts. They go to someone who does nothing other than that. Like Best probably has Lab in California make all their pins, because that's all Lab does. That's all they do is make pins.
Gotcha. Okay, so they're sourcing out to other people too for things that people that do the best thing. Yeah, I got you. So I looked at Right Hand a little bit, and what's their like? So their machines are like, maybe that not comparable, but their machines were like in the thousands, a couple $1,000 maybe for 1,000 between 1,000 and 2,000.
Yeah, I've got the RY200. I don't know what the street price of that thing is. It's got to be a couple of grand. I don't like to say it's a BMW, but what I'm trying to say is, you get that Right Hand on the Autobahn at 140 miles an hour, it'll do that for 24 hours straight, 365. That baby is just meant for speed. It's the Rebecca De Mornay of the Risky Business movie. It's just all I love the right-hand key machine. That's the right-hand and my Pro Lock Blue Punch for Schlage, and then I've got a HPC Blitz. I've got a Fromen and many others, but that right-hand and the Pro and the Blue Punch, that's my 1-2 punch.
Wow. Okay. Good to know. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I went to a local guy here, and he did have, and he was actually pretty nice about it. He looked at it and he's like, "Yeah, that's cool," and he wanted to look up more info on it. He hasn't got back with me, but he had about 4 or 5 young guys in there cutting keys, and I set it to the side there, and he was taking down my number, and the young guys came over and were looking at the best combinator, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool."
Yeah, it means they don't have
it was
one.
like they don't have one. Well, he had a bunch of Pro Locks for different things. You know, he had a bunch of different Pro Locks for different keys, and he had like an A2 there, maybe an A4. But he didn't.
Yeah.
But
that would make sense.
but seeing the young guys looking at it, and we're like, "Oh, that's cool. This thing's got to be a lot of money." I could hear him I could just kind of hear him on the side talking about it. That was cool.
The Pro Lock's awesome.
That was cool.
But it ain't going to do 140 on the Autobahn for 24,365.
Gotcha.
Spring going to break.
I love. Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, it's good. Good analogy. Yeah. And the guy's looking at it, and we'll see. We'll see where he's at with it. But he seemed like an honest guy, and that place has been there for a long time here. So, we'll see. But yeah, okay, man. Appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Merry Christmas. Let me know how it turns out.
Will do. Merry Christmas to you too, bud.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.